Yeah, we do have a lot coming up. It's a bit of an unknown quantity for us, August, because we've always had the Edinburgh International Film Festival programming our cinemas for us in that time. So, you know, we looked at it and wondered what could we do that, you know, that was special, I guess, to go up against the festival at large. First up on the 8th of August is Spanish director Isabel Sept, I think you pronounce it. In the first of what I hope might be many opportunities to name drop, I know how to pronounce her name because I met her at Edinburgh last year, well, 2 months ago. Her latest film, it's her third English language film, stars Sir Ben Kingsley as, and it's very much art imitating life. Ben Kingsley as a 60-something academic and sort of cultural critic who has his life turned upside down when he falls in love with one of his students, played by Penelope Cruz. It sounds very kind of familiar territory, but Ben Kingsley, whether that's his real life or not, pegs the role completely. And I mean, he's always very watchable, but I mean, he's stunning in this. And Penelope Cruz puts in a good turn as well. So it's a seriously classy film and highly recommended. Sir Sean, as we like to call him, will be appearing in the city during August anyway. He's launching his book that he co-wrote with another local man, Murray Grigger. I think it's called Being a Scot, and he's launching it at the Book Festival on, I think, the 25th of August. So we thought we'd try and take advantage of him being in the city. He's often been in the city during August, but because it's the film festival, Filmhouse have never had the opportunity to get him to do anything for us. So we asked him would he come and introduce what I think is probably his best film. It's certainly, if it's not the best film he's in, he's at his best in the film. And I think he agrees with that, actually, and that's The Hill, the Sidney Lumet film from 1965. The other films that we thought we'd put on in the season, and they're my personal choices, really. They're the 5 films that I think show Sean at his absolute best, and they are The Man Who Would Be King, a bit of a guilty pleasure, Robin and Marion, Hitchcock's Marnie, and again Sidney Lumet's The Offence. Some people, you know, kind of said, "What? No Bond film?" But I kind of feel that Sean could have walked through the Bond film. He did kind of walk through the Bond films. They didn't tax him as an actor, whereas these 5 films did, and he comes up, you know, smelling of roses completely. He's excellent in all 5 of those films. 2008 is actually the centenary of the birth of David Lean, so the British Film Institute have made available 8 of his earlier films digitally. So we wondered, should we just do those 8 or should we go the whole hog? None of the early films don't cover any of his kind of more populist epics like Dr. Zhivago or Bridge on the River Kwai. So we decided we wanted to do all of them. So we've had to scrabble around a bit to find prints here and there. There's River Kwai's coming from America, and the BFI have actually cut a new print of Ryan's Daughter. So we've managed to put together a complete season, all 16 of his films. He's probably the most English of filmmakers, and while he hasn't been the favourite of critics and filmmakers over the years, I think as far as an audience goes, they see his work rather differently. Akira Kurosawa, although not too many people make a claim for him as being the greatest of all Japanese directors, I think critics would probably edge more towards Ozu or Mizoguchi, or somebody like that. But I think it's fair to say that Kurosawa is the most popular Japanese director in the West. In fact, I think in the early 50s he probably put Japanese cinema on the map as far as Western audience is concerned. And I mean, some some of his films are just so well known in the West. For example, The Seven Samurai, which is actually was kind of the inspiration for putting this 13 film season together. We discovered that the British Film Institute again had made a new print, I think it's the longest version that's ever existed. It's a brand new print. It's 207 minutes long, and I think we're screening that on the 22nd of August. It's a print that's never been seen anywhere before, and because we put 13 films together, the BFI thought that warranted cracking open this new print. So it's the first time it'll be seen in this country, even before that they see it at the National Film Theatre. It's a very strong year actually this year, the London Lesbian and Gay Film Festival on tour, with a couple of, represented by a couple of, two of who were the kind of leading lights of the new gay cinema in the early 90s, I suppose it was. Bruce LaBruce, who's not exactly to everybody's taste, but to those who know him, love him, and Greg Araki as well, with what is really not actually a gay film, but he's known in that kind of world, so hence his inclusion in the festival. Also, there's a very interesting documentary made by Isaac Julian about the life and work of Derek Jarman, simply entitled Derek. It's a film I have seen, I couldn't tell you how many times, particularly the last half an hour, which I've probably come in drunk more times and watched that than anything else ever. But I've never seen it. I've seen it on DVD, I've seen it on VHS, I've seen it on panned and scanned on the television, but I have never seen a fully restored, longest version ever released in this country, fully restored digital version of it that we are going to screen for a week from August the 1st. It's, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a kind of third part in Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy, and the other two films are kind of the groundwork for this, really.